unstoppable special needs estate plan. And this is the book Mike and I authored, Special Needs Trust Creation and Management Guide. It is available on Amazon. And if you're a client of our firm, we'll give you a copy when we start working with you as well. What is a special needs trust and how does it fit in with my estate plan? A diagnosis changes everything. Think back to that day, if you have a child with a disability, where you got the news that your child was going to have some challenges and that your family was going to have some challenges.
The bottom line, one of the most important or the best known benefits of a special needs trust is that any amount of money, any resource can be in a properly drafted special needs trust, and none of it counts. None of it interferes with eligibility for any of the needs-based government programs. There's supplemental security income, SSI, which guarantees a monthly income. There's Medi-Cal, which is California's version of the federal Medicaid program. There are housing subsidies. There are some programs that are for everybody with a disability. There are some programs that really depend on some eligibility criteria that are financial. But it's a job to be the trustee. We spend a lot of time talking about that. It's our job to know about the resources in the community. Mark is on the board of directors of one of the autism organizations here in our community, for example. We've helped many, we serve with many. It's part of the whole. And importantly, when we draft these things properly, upon your child's passing, there's no payback to the state of California. All the money goes to your family members, to the nonprofit organization that might have assisted you.
Yeah, a simple illustration, I think this is important. So I think there's some confusion and misconception about do I create the special needs trust and I put all my assets in it? And when does it get set up? When does it get money? It's actually fairly straightforward. So you need, say mom and dad have a daughter, Sarah, with special needs. She's going to need support and need government benefits. Mom and dad would set up their own separate living trust. Everybody over the age of 18 really should have a living trust. It's a way to leave your assets where you want without getting stuck in the courts. There's a lot more we can do with that. So the key here is you do not leave money directly to Sarah. Instead, you leave it to the special needs trust that's created for Sarah. And the trust is there to support her for the rest of her life. A third-party trustee is in charge of it, and it doesn't interfere with government benefits, and it can really be used to make sure that Sarah is okay. So it's really that simple. And if you have other kids, we'd recommend different trusts for your other kids, or you can leave money directly to your other kids.
Money in the special needs trust is there for the quality of life of your child with a disability. It's there to pay for anything that some form of government benefits does not pay for. So are there any limitations? What can it be used for? It is so broad. There is so much flexibility and discretion for the trustee. I mean, the trust language has to give the trustee that flexibility and that degree of control. And if properly drafted, they really have it. It's not limiting, very comprehensive in terms of the flexibility. Automobile, entertainment, and by the way, what about concert tickets? What about plays? Things like that. Mark, any insights here?
Funny you ask, Mike. So believe it or not, there's actually a case about this where special needs trust assets can be used to pay for Britney Spears concert tickets. Yes, Britney Spears, of all things, there's actually a court case about that from 2004, where a trustee was challenged for daring to use special needs trust funds to take a big Britney Spears fans to go see one of her shows. So the point here is the funds in a special needs trust, it's not like they're super strictly limited. There's flexibility. A lot of our clients, they think like, well, my kid might be doing okay in the future. They might not need public benefits. They might be able to support themselves. Maybe I don't need the special needs trust. When in doubt, put the special needs trust in place, because if they're thriving and doing well, the trust is flexible. It can support them in so many ways. But if they need those government benefits, then it's absolutely crucial that it be a special needs trust. Not to mention the fact that it can protect them from bad third parties who might try to steal their money.
If there are other kids, we would recommend these dynasty trusts because they're so incredibly important and powerful. So the concept is leaving assets in trust for the benefit of your children to protect the money and to protect your kids. So many issues have to be addressed. It depends so much on whether a family member will be a trustee or a professional will be the trustee. There might be accounting responsibilities built in. Sometimes the nature of the disability compels us to include certain language because we know there's certain issues that are going to come up. Individualizing the planning, being sensitive to what is actually going on in the family, including the size of the estate, the nature of the assets in the estate, it ought to be coordinated. And we work really hard to integrate all of those pieces to be sure we come up with the best plan for everybody.
You need sophisticated, durable powers of attorney for you, mom and dad, so it can allow, if you're incapacitated, to step in and take care of your child. And as Mike said, We want to integrate everything. We need to make sure it all fits together. Reach out, contact us, 650-493-8070, gilfix.com. Very easy to find us. We're all over the internet. If you have a phone, you can point it at this QR code. You may be able to do it. If you want to subscribe, if you haven't yet, we invite you to subscribe. Our channel is growing every day.